What's up, you guys? My name is Josh. Welcome back to another toy review. And today we're going to be taking a look at yet another Ultra Hero 500 series figure. And today we're going to be taking a look at Ultraman Tiga. Ultraman Tiga first debuted in 1996 and was somewhat of a new era of Ultraman. And Ultraman Tiga was kind of like the new generation of Ultraman. Now you're probably thinking, but wait, Josh, wasn't Ultraman Ginga part of the new Ultraman generation line or whatever? And yeah, that might be true, but Tiga, he kind of has another thing going on. What makes Tiga special is that he was part of the Heisei era, and the Heisei era was sort of like how would I say, during around somewhere around the late 80s and early 90s, as it was sort of like a new era for Japan. So it only makes sense that we were reintroduced to Ultraman in this new fashion, with a much more serious type of Ultraman than usual. Not like the usual wacky Ultraman we used to know back in the Showa era. Ultraman Tiga is sort of the eighth installment in the original series. Technically, he's not really the eighth because around the next couple years we had like a lot of different like mini series and different shows that was airing during the late 80s and early 90s. We had Ultraman 80 that came out in 1980, and then sometime later we had the Ultraman USA animated series. And then you had a couple of mini-series that consist of Americanized Ultraman. And the 90s was kind of a funny time. So, of course, let us take a look at the figure. Like always, I will take a look at the tag. As you can see here, you have Ultraman Tiga. It says Ultraman Tiga multi-type because in the show, Tiga has sort of like this ability to kind of like split up into different colors and use like his different abilities. So I can see with the figure, you see how he has like a purple and red kind of decal going on. Sometimes in the show, his color does change. It splits into either purple and silver or red and silver. As you can see, they only made the normal version, the one that he's always famous for. As you can see here, not that it matters, but just like the Ultraman Leo figure, at the bottom of the tag it says made in Indonesia. As you can see here. Yeah, not the best camera in the world, but as long as you could kind of tell what it is. That's some things in the back. And as always, there is nothing in the inside, but whatever, let us take a look at the actual figure. Tiga has a very, very interesting design. I really think it's unique for the most part. As we take around, look at the back part. There's a lot of nice things going on with the figure. As you can see, take a look at the face. He has like a nice tiny little diamond in the middle of his forehead. I don't know if you guys can tell that much. Today my camera's a little bit out of whack. He also got some nice golden detail in the chest area right here. There's nothing missing in proportion of paint, although I do have to kind of mention that, as you might or might not tell, the gold part, it kind of is painted right there, and then it just kind of ends at the back. It's not really painted. Same goes for the arms. Right there, that's supposed to be kind of painted red, and they kind of left it unpainted. There is nothing in the back, and of course, last but not least, his front. See where it has like the silver paint here? It kind of ends there. It's supposed to continue through the back, but as you can see, it's kind of unpainted. Now, if I'm being honest with you guys, the paint job doesn't really bother me, honestly, because it's barely noticeable for the most part. He's not going to be the only figure in the line to have these kind of problems, but it's not really anything a big a deal in my book. You can still kind of tell it's Tiga. He's still very nice, he's well done. Nothing really major going on. I wouldn't really complain about the paint, honestly. He's still a nice figure throughout. As for articulation, of course, the same goes for these vinyl dolls. They only got 3 points of articulation, nothing else. Arm moves all the way. Sometimes the waist does move all the way too, but I'd usually rather not do it because the waist can be very, very tight at times, as you can see here. Yep. Now, as always, allow me to do a size comparison. Here he is compared to Antlar, a monster that appeared in the first Ultraman series. Now, if you're probably wondering, why am I comparing him to Ultraman Tiga? Well, long story short, if you watch the movie Ultraman X, the movie, then you'll kind of understand the reference. For those of you who do understand the reference, in case you're wondering, no, sadly, I do not have Fire Antlar, but I will keep that in mind. Next, we will have Ultraman Ginga, the one that I mentioned before that he is the first hero in the Ultraman New Generation, while Tiga is part of the Heisei era, as you can see here. Oh, and of course, let's also compare him to Gojira. Oh yeah. Yeah, he's pretty big, look at that. He's a thick little boy, is he? Yeah. Now let's compare him to other random figures that I also happen to have. Here he is compared to the Foot Lieutenant from Rise of TMNT. I have reviewed him in the past, but I've reviewed him in my Josh's Quick Tour Reviews videos. Will I ever review this guy again? Well, maybe. I'm not too sure yet. As you can see here, the Ultraman figures are quite taller than he is. And here he is, of course, compared with Jason Voorhees from the 2009 Friday the 13th reboot. Yes, he is a pretty big figure, but of course I just have to compare him because I am also a Friday the 13th film. I mean, you guys seen me in the mask like a bunch of times, so, come on. Now, of course, I can't just end the video here. Of course, I gotta compare him to the Ultraman himself, because funny enough, Ultraman actually does make an appearance in the show. I think he probably appeared maybe in one episode. I'm not 100% sure. They're almost the same size. I think they are pretty much the same size, but Tiga is just, I don't know. He's kind of small. He just looks tall because of his forehead. They're both kind of like buddies in the series. Sometimes you do see them fight together on and on. When I mentioned Ultraman X the movie before, I mean funny enough, they actually do appear in Ultraman X the movie and they fight together. And long story short, they even fuse together too. Not that way, but you guys know what I mean. They both eventually fuse together to create Ultraman Orb. And in case you're wondering when am I going to get to that figure, well, who knows. And last but not least, I just have to compare him to Alien Bolton. I have mentioned many times before in the past that he is my favorite alien throughout the series. And I also want to announce that I will be beginning reviewing the monsters somewhere in the future because, I mean, I think it's about time by now, right? I've reviewed most of the good guys so far. So I think it's about time I should start reviewing the monsters. So the next review, you're not going to see me reviewing an Ultra Hero, but an Ultra Monster. One last thing I want to mention before I end the video is that from now on, I'm going to be giving these figures numbers from a scale to 1 to 10 on whether they are perfect figures or not. And for Ultraman Tiga, I give them a perfect 10 out of 10. Despite some of his lack of paint, I still think he's a very good figure. I mean, I can't complain. I mean, why wouldn't you? It's Tiga. Tiga, my boy. And of course, that is it for our review. I do apologize if my camera wasn't that bright today. Hopefully that will not be the issue next review. But besides all that, I hope you guys enjoy. Leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.